Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Gates channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit like for more daily drama updates and spoilers. Your support truly means a lot and helps our channel grow every day. As Friday, August 21st approaches, the latest Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest that Chelsea Hamilton could find herself pulled back into the darkest chapter of her past, while Randy Parker makes a discovery that could send shockwaves through the lives of several people. Poor Chelsea may once again be haunted by the trauma she has desperately tried to leave behind, and fans certainly remember the terrifying kidnapping storyline that turned her world upside down months ago. At the time, someone Chelsea was dating revealed a far more disturbing side of himself when it became clear that he was actually a stalker, turning what should have been a relationship into a nightmare she could never simply forget. Allison ultimately took Chelsea hostage and went so far as to organize a fake wedding, creating an utterly creepy situation that left Chelsea trapped in a horrifying ordeal. Now, something may happen that triggers those painful memories all over again, forcing Chelsea to confront emotions she thought she had buried for good. Naturally, that raises some unsettling questions about Allison and whether Chelsea could be facing another reminder of the woman who terrorized her. Could Allison somehow already be released from prison, or is something entirely different about to send Chelsea spiraling back into those terrifying memories? Either way, the possibility alone is enough to make Chelsea's situation feel deeply unsettling, especially because trauma does not always stay buried simply because the danger is gone. A familiar situation, a disturbing discovery, or even an unexpected encounter could be enough to make everything come rushing back with frightening intensity. And with Chelsea already trying to move forward with her life, the last thing she needs is to feel as though the nightmare she escaped is suddenly closing in again. As Friday unfolds, viewers may see just how vulnerable Chelsea remains beneath the surface, even as she tries to hold herself together. Meanwhile, Chelsea's fiancé, Dr. Madison Montgomery, is about to find herself caught between two conflicting stories, and that development could be closely connected to Bill Hamilton's recent health scare. Madison is Bill's doctor, but she was out of town when he was brought in, leaving her to piece together what happened after the fact. That timing could become extremely important because Bill's condition has already left the medical professionals baffled, with no clear explanation for what is causing his alarming health problems. Of course, viewers know something the doctors do not. Haley Hamilton has been poisoning Bill, quietly putting his life in danger, while those around him struggle to understand why he keeps getting sick. With two conflicting accounts coming her way, Madison may begin noticing inconsistencies that others have overlooked, and those small details could eventually lead her closer to the truth. The question now is whether Madison will finally start putting two and two together. As a doctor, she has the knowledge and experience to recognize when something about a patient's condition simply does not make sense, and Bill's mysterious illness could eventually push her suspicions in a dangerous direction. If Madison begins questioning what happened while she was away, Haley's carefully protected secret could suddenly become much harder to maintain. At the same time, another explosive confrontation is brewing because Haley and Danny Dupree will once again lock horns, continuing the bitter clashes that have repeatedly threatened to explode around them. Whatever sets them off this time, their latest confrontation could create even more chaos at exactly the moment when Bill's health situation is already becoming increasingly difficult to control. And Bill himself may be reaching the end of his patience. After enduring one confrontation after another, he could finally reach his breaking point as Haley and Danny launch into yet another clash, leaving him completely fed up with their seemingly endless conflict. There is only so much tension a person can endure while already dealing with a serious health crisis, and Bill may have reached the moment when he simply cannot take another argument. Then again, his frustration may have less to do with their personal drama and more to do with the hospital itself, because Bill could simply be desperate to get released and return to his normal life. Whatever the reason, his patience appears to be running dangerously thin, and his breaking point could lead to an emotionally charged moment that reveals just how much pressure he has been carrying. Elsewhere, Randy Parker's storyline takes a potentially dangerous turn as Friday's spoilers reveal that he will continue following Heather Armstrong. Joey Armstrong has specifically asked his henchmen to keep an eye on his sister, which means Randy is not simply watching Heather out of curiosity. He is actively gathering information for Joey. That assignment becomes much more intriguing when you consider Heather's connection to Andre Richardson, because fans know that Andre and the blonde share a history that could still have consequences in the present. If Randy is following Heather closely enough, there is a very real possibility that he could stumble across something Joey never expected him to find. What begins as a simple surveillance mission could suddenly become the discovery of a secret that changes everything. The tension rises even further because Friday's spoilers suggest that Andre will issue someone a threat, and Heather appears to be the most likely target. If Randy happens to be watching at exactly the wrong or perhaps the perfect moment, he could witness the entire interaction from beginning to end. Imagine the danger of Randy seeing Andre confront Heather, hearing the threat, and realizing that there is far more happening between them than anyone has been saying. Instead of simply reporting where Heather has been, Randy could return to Joey carrying information that has the potential to expose Andre's connection to her. And once Joey learns exactly what Randy witnessed, the situation could escalate quickly, especially if the discovery threatens secrets that powerful people have been trying desperately to keep hidden. With Chelsea's traumatic past threatening to resurface, Madison potentially moving closer to the truth about Bill's poisoning, Haley and Danny preparing for another explosive confrontation, and Randy digging deeper into Heather's mysterious connection with Andre, Friday's episode promises to keep the pressure building on every front. Each storyline carries its own danger, but the real suspense comes from how these secrets and confrontations could begin affecting one another as the episode unfolds. Chelsea may be fighting memories of a nightmare she never wanted to relive, while Madison could unknowingly be getting closer to uncovering a deadly secret inside her own circle. At the same time, Randy's surveillance of Heather could give Joey information capable of setting off an entirely new chain reaction, particularly if Andre's threat is witnessed and reported. As Friday draws to a close, Beyond the Gates appears ready to leave viewers with more questions than answers, proving once again that in this world, the most dangerous secrets are often the ones hiding just beneath the surface. And the danger surrounding Chelsea becomes even more unsettling when the possibility of her past returning begins to feel less like a distant memory and more like a shadow following her into the present. For someone who endured being held hostage and forced into a horrifying fake wedding, even the smallest reminder could reopen wounds that never completely healed. Chelsea may try to convince herself that Allison is behind bars and that chapter of her life is finally over, but trauma does not always obey logic, and fear can return with frightening speed when something feels familiar. If Friday's events place Chelsea in a situation that echoes what happened before, she could find herself struggling to separate the safety of the present from the terror of the past. That emotional battle could become just as powerful as any physical threat, because Chelsea is not merely remembering what happened to her, she is reliving the fear of being powerless all over again. At the same time, Madison's growing involvement in Bill's mysterious illness could quietly become one of the most dangerous developments of the day. She already knows that the doctors have been unable to explain why Bill's health continues to deteriorate, and now she is about to hear two conflicting versions of events that may force her to look beyond the obvious explanations. The fact that Madison was away when Bill was brought into the hospital means she is approaching the situation with information gathered from others, and inconsistencies in those accounts could immediately stand out to someone with her medical background. If Madison begins examining Bill's condition more carefully, she may start recognizing patterns that suggest his illness is not natural at all. Haley has been relying on confusion and uncertainty to keep her actions hidden, but the more questions Madison asks, the harder it may become for Haley's poisoning scheme to remain invisible. That possibility becomes even more dangerous because Haley is already dealing with another source of pressure in Danny. Their repeated clashes have made it clear that neither woman is willing to simply back down, and every new confrontation creates another opportunity for emotions to spill over. Danny and Haley may once again find themselves pushing each other's buttons with old frustrations and personal tensions, making it almost impossible for either of them to walk away peacefully. Yet while their argument may appear to be another personal battle, on the surface, the consequences could reach much further because Bill is caught in the middle of their ongoing conflict. If Bill finally loses patience, his reaction could expose just how exhausted he has become with the constant drama surrounding him. Bill's desire to leave the hospital could also add another layer of urgency to everything happening around him. He may feel trapped, frustrated, and increasingly desperate to regain control of his own life, especially when he cannot even understand why his health has become such a mystery. The longer he remains surrounded by doctors who cannot explain what is happening and family members who continue fighting around him, the more likely it is that he will reach his emotional limit. But getting released could be dangerous if Haley's poisoning continues outside the hospital, because leaving medical supervision might give her even more opportunity to continue what she has started. Bill may believe that freedom is exactly what he needs, while the audience understands that his safety could depend on someone discovering the truth before he walks away from the hospital. Meanwhile, Randy's surveillance of Heather could place him directly in the middle of another secret waiting to explode. Joey believes that keeping Heather under observation will give him the information he needs, but Randy may end up discovering far more than either man expected. Heather's connection to Andre is already significant, and if Randy catches the two of them together, the encounter could immediately raise questions about what they are hiding from Joey and everyone else. The possibility that Andre could threaten Heather while Randy is secretly watching makes the situation even more volatile, because Randy would suddenly become a witness to something potentially incriminating. Instead of quietly following Heather and reporting her movements, he could walk away with information capable of changing the balance of power. And if Randy does witness Andre's threat, the most important question may be what he chooses to do with what he knows. Joey specifically sent him to follow Heather, so Randy's natural instinct would be to report everything he saw, but revealing the details could have consequences for Heather, Andre, and even Randy himself. If Joey learns that Andre has been threatening his sister, his reaction could be immediate and unpredictable, particularly if he believes Heather has been keeping secrets from him. Meanwhile, Andre may have no idea that someone is watching from the shadows, which could make Randy's discovery even more dangerous. The moment Randy realizes exactly what he has witnessed, the surveillance mission could transform into something much bigger, with one secret suddenly threatening to expose another. As all these stories continue moving forward, the tension around Beyond the Gates becomes increasingly layered, with every character carrying a secret, a fear, or a hidden motive that could erupt at the worst possible moment. Chelsea is facing the possibility of being emotionally dragged back into the nightmare she survived, while Madison could be standing closer than ever to discovering the truth about Bill's mysterious illness. Haley remains under pressure from Danny while desperately needing to keep her actions against Bill hidden, and Bill himself is approaching a breaking point as his patience and strength begin to run out. At the same time, Randy's assignment from Joey could uncover a dangerous connection between Heather and Andre, especially if he witnesses the threat that Andre is expected to make. By the time Friday's drama reaches its final moments, the characters may realize that the secrets they thought were safely hidden are beginning to surface, and once those secrets come into the light, there may be no easy way to put everything back the way it was.